Hello, welcome along everybody. Whether you're joining us live or whether you are catching up on this later, you are equally welcome. And today's session is going to be for anybody who is feeling a bit stiff or hunchy around the neck and the shoulders. This is something that's a really common problem with just modern lifestyles, head down over a phone, hunched over a laptop, any of those sorts of things. So today's session is going to have lots of nice stretches for the neck. It's going to have some stretches and movements for the shoulders, and hopefully you will end this session feeling a bit more open and unraveled than how you started it. So let's begin, as always, just sitting down. If this is your first time, any kind of chair, ideally one though that's more upright, is better. But other than that, just whatever you've got, and you can do it wearing anything that you like. Although I would encourage you to take your shoes off. Although for this one, because it's more about the neck and the upper bodies, it's less of an issue. And as we're going through, as always, do be careful and only do as much as feels right for your body. Necks can be particularly sensitive. So and if anything feels crampy or clunky, then just back off and do what feels right for you. Okay, so that said, let's begin. Sitting down and sitting up nice and tall. And maybe this might actually be the first time today that you've really thought about your posture. So just take a moment just to check in with how that's all feeling today. And if you are feeling a bit cranky, then don't judge it, just notice it and let it go. And hopefully you'll be feeling a bit better by the end of it. If you pick up any big sighs, it's because the dog is just out of shot over here. He might pop up at some point, but he just did a huge big sigh. And that leads us nicely onto what I'm going to suggest, the first exercise. So let's sit up nice and tall, eyes closed, and just take a moment to land here, checking in with how you're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever you're coming to the session with today. It's all good. And then I'm going to encourage you to just take a couple of clearing breaths. So by this, I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath in and hunch the shoulders up to your ears as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, sigh it out and just let your shoulders drop. So we're just starting to kind of ease out the shoulders here. So inhaling, squeezing the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale, with a sigh, and just let them go. Relax everything down. And let's do one more then. Breathing in, squeezing the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale, just dropping them down. And even that might have already started to make your shoulders and your neck feel better, but let's get into some movements now as well. So first of all, I'm going to invite you to start making some small circles with your nose as if you had a pencil or something on the tip of your nose. And starting off quite small, but then maybe letting those circles get bigger and bigger. And as you're doing these, it's fine to let the chin come down to the chest, but I'm going to encourage you not to take the head right back like this, because that's, if your neck's already sensitive, then that's also often doesn't help. So let's keep the head kind of forwards and down as your circles get bigger there. And if there's a little bit of crunching, creaking, that's completely normal. Just because these are movements that we don't do that often during the day. And then let's reverse your circle, take it the other way, and this time let's start big and slowly get smaller as you go around until eventually you're barely moving the head back to center. Okay, so starting to get some movement in the neck there. Let's start to get some movement in the shoulders. So I'm going to invite you to bring your hands up onto your shoulders if that's possible for you. If this is not possible for you, then you can just do this, the same movement with the arms down. And then we're going to take some nice circles. So bringing the elbows forward, up, round, and back. And at first, let's take these circles really slowly and think about trying to make it get as much movement in the shoulders as you can. And particularly this backwards movement here, we're bringing the shoulder blades back and down. That's particularly good for counteracting being hunched over a screen. And then once you start to get into it, you can speed those circles up a bit if you want to, or just keep them really nice and slow. And then let's reverse and come back the other way. Bringing the elbows now forwards and round. Don't worry if yours don't look exactly like mine. It's just about getting everything moving. And then let's drop the hands, maybe shake the hands out a little bit and relax the shoulders down. Okay, so let's take a nice big stretch here for the upper back. So we'll first of all bring the arms out to the sides, and actually if you can, bring them as far back behind you as you can. So maybe you only come to here, that's fine, but if you can, try and take them back a little way further, almost imagining you're pinching a pencil or something between your shoulder blades, bringing them together. And then let's wrap the arms round, give yourself a bit of a hug. And then as you do this, just tuck your chin into your chest and you'll get a nice stretch through the back of the shoulders, the back of the neck. And then let's open that out. Again, bringing the hands back a little way if you can. And then this time we're going to cross with the opposite arm on top. Walk your fingers a little further around, tuck your chin into your chest. Get that nice stretch all across the back, neck, the shoulders, and all the way around there. And then let's open up one more time. Doesn't need to be as big this time. And then let the arms come down. Okay, so we've got the shoulders a little bit warmed up now. Now let's get into some slightly deeper stretches for the neck. So first of all, let's take the head very gently from side to side. So just taking it across to look over your right shoulder, stretching all the way down the left side of the neck here. And then back to center. Then over to the other side. Back to center. And let's keep that going. You might like to coordinate this movement with the breath. So perhaps inhaling as you go to one side, exhaling as you go to the other side. Or another sequence that works, another way of breathing with the movement that works for you. And trying to keep the shoulders relaxed as you do this, making all the movement come from the head and the neck. And then let's even up. So for me, that's one to this left-hand side and then back to center. Let's take a stretch for that's. So we've done that kind of side-to-side movement. Now let's go with the movement of taking the head over this time towards, with your ear towards your shoulder. I'm going to the right hand side first of all. If you want to copy me, that's fine, but we're going to do both sides. It's okay. So first of all, taking the head over. So as I say, you get the stretch all the way down the left hand side of the neck. That might be enough for you. If you do want a little bit more though, you can bring the hand on top of the head and just gently, very gently pull a little way over. And if you even want to exaggerate this even more, you can bring your left hand out beside you and flex the hand so the fingers are kind of pointing up. And then that'll exaggerate that stretch even more. You might even want to experiment with lifting that left arm up and down a little bit until you find just the spot that's giving you great stretch on your neck. Okay, let's bring that back to center. You're probably feeling very lopsided now, so we're going to go over to the other side. So first of all, bringing the left ear over towards the left shoulder, staying there if that's enough for you, or adding other elements depending on how your neck's feeling. So the options are bringing the hand on top of the head and just using that to gently just tug the head over a little bit more to the left hand side, but moving very gently there. And then if you want, bringing that right hand out to the side, flexing the palm so the fingers are pointing up, and then experimenting with where's the right spot to get that stretch for your neck, because everybody will be slightly different. Okay, let's gently come back to center. Okay, so hopefully your neck's feeling a little bit better now. Let's do a little bit more for the back and the shoulders. So we're going to do a seated cat-cow stretch. So those who've been doing this session a while will know this movement well, but if this is new to you, we're coming to the edge of the chair, so you've got room behind you, feet flat on the floor, knees at a 90-ish degree angle, hands on the knees, and then we're going to, first of all, lean forward, open through the chest here, lift the chin up, and bring an arch to the spine here, a little bit of a back bend. And then flipping that, rocking back on the pelvis, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin into the chest, and rounding all the way down. So we're going to alternate between those two movements. Head up and a little back bend, and then head down with the spine rounded, rocking backwards and forwards on the pelvis as you do this as well, so letting the movement come all the way from your tailbone rather than just from the waist. And then coordinating this with the breath if you want to, so exhaling when the head comes down and chin tucked in, and then inhaling as you lift the head up. Let's do a couple more here. So this is great for easing out the whole spine, but particularly if you think about bringing the shoulders back, it's great for the neck as well. We're just moving everything the whole length of the spine. Okay, the next time your chin is rounded in, we'll make that the last one, and then come back to neutral. Lovely. Okay, we're just going to come up to do a couple of standing things. The first one is going to be downward facing dog using your chair. So you can use either the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, depending on how your back and your neck is feeling. If your shoulders and neck are a little bit more tight, then it's probably better to use the back of the chair, but you can use the seat of the chair if you want to. So standing with the hands on the chair or on a table or something like that, and then let's just walk the feet back. And today, let's really bring the attention to stretching across the upper back and the back of the shoulders, and really think about pressing your chest down towards the floor and sort of stretching through the armpits. And that's going to give you a great stretch across this upper back here. And this really is an amazing counter pose to all the kind of habitual movements that we do most of the time, sitting hunched over the computer. So what we're doing here is just bringing the arms up above the head, stretching across that upper back, stretching across the chest. So it really is doing the world a good here. If it feel nice to give the hips a little bit of a wiggle, you can do that as well. You're not stuck here. So just move as you need to. And let's gently walk back up and coming to standing. Now we're going to do another quite a strong shoulder heart opener now, strong stretch for the shoulders. So see how you get on. This can be done seated if you want to, but I'll demonstrate standing version. So first of all, you're going to bring the hands around behind you, and if you can, clasp the hands together. Now, if you can't do that, you can do this just with the arms kind of reaching back, a bit like we did earlier if you can't clasp, or maybe you can kind of hold your wrist instead or your elbows or something like that. But basically, we want to bring the hands behind the body in some way. And then as we do that, think about rolling the shoulders back and really opening across the upper chest here. So bringing the hands around behind you. Now, this is a great stretch in and of itself. So if you want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. But I am going to give you the option to take this into a forward fold if you want to. So from here, relax your knees a little bit. So you've got a bit of a bend in the knees. And then just bring the head down and the arms up and overhead. Bend the knees as much as you need to here. We're not about stretching the legs, we're about stretching the shoulders. So don't stress if you feel, it's not about touching your toes or getting your legs straight or anything like that. It's about stretching the shoulders. And if you can, imagine that somebody was kind of pulling your hands upwards, and that will just help to exaggerate that stretch across the shoulders and the neck. And with the head down here like this, just let the head go, tucking the chin a little bit into the chest so you're not holding on to it. And you can even turn the head a little bit from side to side here, which is quite a nice thing to do when there's no gravity on, so the gravity of the neck is, the gravity of the head is stretching out the neck. So it's quite a nice opportunity to just turn the face from side to side, get a nice stretch through the neck. So let's release the arms. You're probably ready for that now. You can just let them hang down. And then we'll bend the knees even more, tuck the chin in, engage the tummy a little bit, and we'll just gently roll back up to standing. And then once you get there, just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Sometimes having the head down like that can make things a little bit swimmy. So just give yourself a moment to recover. And then we're going to do one more standing thing, which is just such a good thing for just relaxing everything and getting everything moving. And that is spaghetti arms. So standing with the feet about hip distance apart, knees bent, and then just swaying the arms from one side to the other. Let the head go with you, and you can bring the heels up as you go as well, so you're not jarring the knees. And really, we're just moving everything around here. And you can even experiment with whether it makes a difference to how your neck and shoulders feel if you bring your arms up higher or whether you bring them lower. Everybody's body's different, so you might find that one works better than the other. But this is just really helping to kind of relax through the back, through the shoulders, let everything go, ease everything out. Okay, and then let's slow it down, shake it off. Excellent. And then we're going to come back down to sitting to finish off. So I've just turned to the side again just so you can see. But coming to sitting up nice and tall again on the chair, we're going to do one more posture, which is going to be a seated twist, which, as I say, is also one of my favorites. If you've been here before, we've done this many times before. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll bring the right hand across to the left knee. The left hand comes around and lands somewhere behind you, which will depend on your chair on your arms, how things are feeling today. So just find somewhere, and then we're going to use that hand. We're not leaning back on that hand. We're going to use it as kind of like a leverage point. Think about, particularly again today, because we're thinking about the neck and the shoulders, rolling that left shoulder back and down, and then turning your head with you into the twist. So you're getting a twist all the way up the spine. And also as well here, we're getting a little turn of the head. Another great release for the neck here. Breathing, stretching, wringing out the sponge. Then let's come back to center and take it over to the other side. So this time the left hand is coming across to the right knee. The right hand comes around to land on your chair, wherever is right for you. Rolling that right shoulder round and back. So letting the shoulder be what brings you round. Turning the head. Just really enjoying this stretch. Such a good way to counteract all that. Everything we do mainly as humans is kind of all in one direction. It's all kind of forwards and back. So doing these movements that go to the side are so nourishing. And then unraveling back to center. Turn my chair back round. So hopefully your neck and your shoulders are feeling a bit better now, but I'm going to invite you to end today's session with a little bit of self massage. So I'm going to invite you to bring your hands now just up to your neck and your shoulders and just start to feel your way around. See where there are tight spots, where there are tender spots, where there are hard spots. And just take a little bit of time here to work in to some of those places. So whether it's the sides of the neck, the base of the skull, for me it's always the tops of the shoulders here that are my tricky place. So one hand or two hands, just, you've got the permission. I'm telling you to do it. Give yourself a massage. And, you know, keep going with this as long as you want to. So I'm going to finish there, but as I say, keep going with this massage as long as you would like, as long as it feels good. And I hope that has been some benefit for you. It's always lovely if you can leave a message on the video or thumbs up or share this with somebody you think might benefit from it. Come back to it another day and do it again. Any of those things are just great to know that it has helped you, because that's the reason that I do these sessions. So thank you very much for sharing your time with me and with everybody else. I'll see you again soon. Bye.